It's time for
DodgerHeads.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome into Dodger Heads. My name is Scott Geirman. I'm here with my good buddy Blake. Happy Tuesday night, everybody. Getting everybody prepped and ready to go in anticipation with all of the chatter, Mr. Blake Williams, going on before the World Series. Just wanted to welcome you in. It's good to see you in here, chat. Everybody, welcome. Blake, how we doing, man?
Been pretty good. Been enjoying the bit of time off we have because it's unusual for this long of a break between the end of the NLCS and the start of the World Series. So it's been kind of nice from a work perspective and been getting a lot of Pokemon in. So yeah, it's been good.
Chat, everybody, welcome in. Happy Tuesday to everybody tuned in early on, to the day ones, everybody in. Please do us a favor, subscribe, like, everything, comment down below. If you're tuning in for the first time, that does us wonders. We appreciate you joining in. We appreciate you coming back. Stay tuned for everything on Dodger Blue 1958. All of our written work, Blake, Matt, the cast, everybody there on the written side does incredible stuff there. Big shout out to you, Blake. Shout out to you and Matt as well for being at the stadium, getting terrific photos, quotes, everything for us. It makes our job easy on this end. So thank you on that front. Blake, you know, the Blue Jays and the Seattle Mariners series was wrapped up over the weekend. Blue Jays prevail in Game 7 there. Just give me your immediate thoughts. After that, it was a knockout battling series between the Blue Jays and the Mariners. Give me just your overall, feelings and thoughts of kind of the result in the ALCS.
Unfortunate because the better team won, and I rather saw the Dodgers have an easier matchup with the Mariners. So it'll be a fun series. I mean, you probably got the two best teams in the National League and the American League facing off in the World Series. So it'll be a fun series. I thought they'd probably just kind of run over the Mariners a bit. So the Blue Jays should at least make it a little more fun. So yeah, that was my immediate reaction. I really wanted Seattle to win, but here we are, Toronto.
Yeah, Toronto, USA versus Canada. Thoughts on that?
No thoughts.
No thoughts. Dong says this. Yeah, it's like a Thursday night throwback with Scotty G and Boston Blake. It just feels good, doesn't it, Mr. Blake?
I mean, you're probably like fifth on my choice of hosts I'd want to come on with. So yeah.
You want to name those, Mr. Blake?
We got Jeff, we got Matt. I think you're the only other one who hosts besides me. So yeah, a random guy off the street.
Michael Conforto and
Michael Conforto would be a good host.
Anthony Bonda.
Yep.
There's the two. Is this because did you miss my Crocs joke from this morning? Did you happen to hear that?
I think I saw it, but I'm not a big Back to the Future guy, so
yeah, I said that you were outside my window throwing rocks at it because you wanted to talk Tanner Scott today. So look, we've got a segment lined up for Tanner Scott and Blake's spearheading that one. So it's true. It's true, everybody. I looked out there and he's just pelting the window with pebbles here. LV Lopez says, love to see you guys reunited and hear your takes on the World Series. How are we feeling with Snell first game starter? I'm excited. LV Lopez, thank you for the super chat. Thank you for the support here. Yeah, feels good. Yeah, we had the opportunity to hop on here. Myself, they needed a host for tonight. Happily step in here. So I told you guys I was going to make up for it because I didn't have a show on Monday. And it's good to have you in tonight. Good to be here with Blake. We got some good chatter. Dodgers announced Game 1 starters. We're going to talk, I spoke this morning on Unplugged about how I would save a bulk of the conversation between Dodgers and Blue Jays for tonight. But yeah, it's good to have you here, Blake. It's good to be on here with you. And everything to break down with the Blue Jays. And I hear all that you're saying about, the Blue Jays winning the ALCS there in a game that the Mariners absolutely could and should have won if Dan Wilson doesn't have just the absolute largest mistake in that franchise's history, possibly, and saving his closer. And I'll let you do this, Blake. Big Dave Roberts would never do a thing like that in this day and age.
Yeah, I think we finally started to see some fans coming around on Dave just by watching other managers and the moves they make. Like, it's bad. The bar is so low for managers in Major League Baseball, and Dave is definitely up there in the upper echelon of managers, if not the best. So, yeah, I think a lot of the moves that like Pat Murphy made, and going back to the Philly series and the Red series, like people are paying more attention to the moves other managers are making and being like, yeah, okay, so maybe Dave isn't so bad and we can kind of live with him and accept him.
Yeah, absolutely. I totally get what you're saying. I agree with it for sure. That's, you look back at each series, aside from even I would say even the series against the Cincinnati Reds, even though that was just pure Dodgers all the way. Nick Lodolo was brought in the second game after Zach Lytle. And that was where, why don't you just start Nick Lodolo, period? If you're going to go to him and have such a quick, just go to him right away. Just do that. There's been one move. Dave Roberts had him in a few games there, but I feel like he learned his lesson. And when it was Roki was the guy in those big spots there, I think he's going to lean on that some more, possibly go to another starter. I think he might be a little bit more liberal with that in the World Series here and go toward a more, advantageous matchup and maybe not try so many things out this time around, hopefully. But to what you said, Dave Roberts, just for me, how he managed this last postseason in 2024, and for me cemented, kind of how he can stay in LA however long he wants. In this postseason here, he's found the group he's going to lean on. It's making his job easy in the starting rotation. And I think he's going to continue to do that and be pretty, him in the starting rotation will be in lockstep there. But yeah, Blake, we've got some things to talk about tonight. Do you want to talk breakdown of Philly or of the Blue Jays first? You want to go straight into Tanner Scott?
I've seen a lot of stuff about roster stuff already, so we can go right into that one.
Good. So let's talk about breakdown of we're going into Tanner Scott?
Yeah.
Let's go Tanner Scott. So we're going to talk Tanner Scott. Is Tanner Scott an option for the Dodgers bullpen? I told you guys this morning we were ready to talk about this. He's healthy to what his word says. He's ready to go. Blake has some quotes about this. Tanner Scott was speaking with the media yesterday at the stadium. What do we got, Blake?
Yeah, so Tanner Scott said he feels a lot better now and he's fully ready to go. He wanted to face Freddie and live BP and just to kind of get some game action back under him facing a live hitter again. He's ready. He wants to be on the roster. When Dave was asked about it, Dave sounded a little more hesitant. So I don't think they're going to put him on based on Dave Roberts' quote about it. And I can try and pull that up here real quick.
So while you do that, I'm just going to reiterate that Tanner Scott has not appeared in a big league game since September 26th. And that's a long time. That's a very long time to go through. That's my same reasoning with when people ask me about Michael Conforto. It's that he just hasn't appeared. He hasn't been with the team. You don't have a pulse in the postseason. So that's why it's just been, for me, it feels so long.
Yeah, I asked Tanner Scott about that. Like, it'll be a month since he's pitching a game, essentially. And if he's concerned about any rust, and he said no. David Vassay followed up about it. And Tanner Scott basically said, like, the playoff energy is different after throwing a live soon. I think it'll, like, take me to where I need to be. So he's not concerned about it. But when Dave Roberts was asked about it, his answer was a lot more like leaving room that he's not going to be on the roster, even though he's doing better. So Dave said, it's good to see Tanner continuing to throw and throw pens. It's just trying to get a grasp on the doctors, giving him the full green light, the go ahead. Today, I can't answer that question. I know he's anxious, which is a good thing. But I think fortunately we get to see it for a couple more days, how he responds to throwing bullpens and things like that. So he later went on to say they're going to make one change on the roster. And when you look at the Blue Jays lineup, it's probably going to be adding a right-handed pitcher and taking off a left-hander, which would be Kershaw, Bonda, or Robleski likely. So I just don't see them adding Tanner Scott based on what Dave said today. And considering Tanner Scott hasn't pitched in a month. So that's kind of where I'm at. That's how I'm reading things.
Agreed.
I don't know if anyone takes that quote differently than what I heard, but yeah, Dave didn't seem like, he's going to be on the roster. He's ready to go type thing.
Yeah, it just that pulse on the postseason matters. Being with the team matters. Appearing in games matters. Preparing yourself like you're going to go into a game matters. That gets you prepared mentally. I know Tanner Scott has pitched in the postseason before, but that's last year. It's a different time. It's just after having such a down year, man. I mean, this is a guy who blew 10 saves during the regular season. You know, he's coming off the worst season of his career, 4.74 ERA, 57 innings, like I said, 10 blown saves. This is a guy that, when stuff is correct, he's one of the best relievers in ball. But he just hasn't been correct. Blake, toward the end of the season, we were saying just chalk it up. Once he announced that he had a procedure, it was, stay away from the team, get yourself right, mentally right. Coming from a guy who said baseball hates him right now and just looked defeated post game, where do you stick him into a game is the biggest question. It's that if there's not, it's like having an extra pinch hitter. If you don't see a role for him, just don't carry it. You would bring every player with the intent in a spot that they could feasibly find their way into a game. And I just don't see it. And I think I agree with you wholeheartedly that I don't see a way that he makes the roster outside of just a Hail Mary chance and just forcing him on the roster because of some God knows what. But there are, like you said, I would say 3 other arms that make it over him. And then they're still going to drop possibly one of those and guys who, could make the roster. Kershaw is the one that both have a tough time finding how he's going to be in there. We don't know, where that spot will be, but I agree with you, man. I mean, he's had a tough regular season, not a runway for him in the postseason. It's a no chance type of thing, right?
I would say there's like a 1% chance. I don't really see it happening just based on the roster. Dave Roberts said there's going to be one change on the roster. And he was asked specifically about like the lefties, and he said we're still talking through things, but it seems likely it's going to be another right-handed pitcher added, which would mean Edgardo, Klein, Kyle Hurt potentially, and they're probably just going to remove a lefty and roll with the rest of the roster the same. So guys like Justin Dean will be on, Haesung Kim will be on, and those guys have roles on this team right now. If you're going to carry Tanner Scott, like you said, there's just no role for him. But even when he was on the roster, he didn't pitch in the wild card, even in the blowouts. He didn't pitch in the start of the Phillies series until he had to leave the team. So I just don't know like what value he brings to the team that they could justify putting him on the roster.
Yeah. JF says this, they've been fine without him. So fine without Tanner Scott, just build him back up in the offseason. I totally agree with this. Just chalk it to a lost season for him. If you want to send him to Arizona, they've done incredible work with Roki Sasaki and tons of different arms, working their way back, diagnose him, break him down, find out how perhaps maybe you can expand his arsenal. But that's generally what I've been thinking about with Tanner Scott and how I would proceed with him. Don't force it. Don't force the square peg into a round hole. Don't make this a thing and force just a roster spot into where you just don't find a way for him to get into a game. Zip Code Zero says build Scott into a box and ship him out of town. He's under contract for some years.
Scott,
so
no, you, not Tanner.
Build me into a box, ship me out of town.
Classy,
buddy. Nice. All right. I'll remember that. Come holiday time. Thanks. Appreciate that. Real classy. Frank M wants to know, has Kyle Hurt been around pitching any BP?
Yeah, pretty much every time they have a live workout open to the media, it's Kyle Hurt pitching. He pitched yesterday. I think we have like 3 or 4 videos up on our YouTube channel of him pitching to hitters. So yeah, he has been around throwing a lot.
So stay right here. Kyle Hurt, that last, so you say they're kind of mulling one final spot with the roster currently. That currently it's with Ben Kasparius on the roster, correct, already? So it would be someone aside from him. Just Blake Williams putting on his GM cap here, his Andrew Friedman, Dave Roberts, Brandon Gomes, however many people you want to go down the list. Where does that one spot pop up? Somebody who you could see. Even if you'd like, who would you like and who do you see? You can give me 2 names and the probable one, and who does Blake Williams want to see?
I want to see Will Klein.
Mm-hmm.
I think he has the best stuff of the group. I think he showed a lot at the end of the season there, and he kind of addressed his strike throwing. My gut tells me it's going to be Edgardo just because they kept him on the roster all year, and he was the first guy to make the postseason roster out of them, and then when they made the changes, he was off. But I don't know. I just feel like they've been higher on him than the other guys. but I hope it's Will Klein. It could really be any of these three guys. Like I said, Kyle Hurt has been throwing a lot too, and if they like how he's looked, maybe they roll the dice there. I'm like 40% on Edgardo, and then whatever the math is on the other two guys, splitting that up there.
Yeah, chat's not so happy about Edgardo, but it just goes back to, arms that they've seen before, whether it's feel comfortable as far as the stuff. They might like Will Klein's stuff better. It's just a matter of he's had time this year, so that maybe they have a little bit of a book. That's just, Blake and I both know we both want Will Klein. We both want to see someone else, even if it's Kyle Hurt. I've been clamoring for Kyle Hurt for quite some time. His dad follows me on Instagram and he wants Kyle Hurt. So I've been, pumping that. If they want to do it, go ahead. It's just, I with Blake, I want someone who has the best stuff. I don't want, if Edgardo Enriquez makes it and he's in there and he can't find the strike zone, it's just, you can't give away free bags. You can't give away free bags. We're going to talk about it and why that matters against the Blue Jays and the Dodgers strikeout stuff and providing free bags to this Blue Jays offense there. So that's how I see it. So I would prefer someone else other than Gardo just because of how wild he's been.
I agree with that, but like if you look at the season stats, Edgardo is walking far less people than Will Klein was. So like we're talking about a 1-game sample size to judge Edgardo here, and I just don't think the Dodgers are going to follow that sample size too much. And Edgardo was on the postseason roster last year for a round, so yeah, it's a gut instinct. It's not like based on anything I've heard or something like that, but I don't know. I just feel like he's going to be the guy when it's all said and done.
Yeah, I agree. Let's see here. 300 wants to say this real quick. Poor manager decisions are due to a reliance of analytics. They don't trust their gut or years of experience. Thoughts to this here?
I think a lot of times when people get mad at managers, it's because they relied on their gut and not because they followed the data to go with what they should do. I think the exception to that is like when they take out a starting pitcher early, which it's hard to fully judge that because all the times we see managers leave their starter in too long and then it comes back to cost them, like the Phillies did with Christopher Sanchez in Game 4 of the NLDS. Mm-hmm. The Brewers have done it with Jacob Mizorowski. They left him in too long and it backfired. Like if they took that pitcher out, every fan would be complaining about how they took their pitcher out while he was dealing. In both those situations, they left him in because it was the gut feeling. It wasn't what the data told them to do. And it ended up coming back to cost them. So I think a lot of times the complaints about Dave Roberts when he's managing, it's because he's following the data. Like he's pinch hitting with the righty with a lefty on the mound, even though the lefty batter was 3 for 3 in the game. Like it's things that fans aren't like seeing that data ahead of time. So they're just assuming that it's based on the gut feeling or the analytics and not like the actual reasoning behind it.
Yeah. Sticking with the bullpen. We could just, instead of talking Tanner Scott, I'd like to just get your thoughts here quickly on the bullpen because they haven't been pressed as much as other teams by not even close. The Dodgers starters have carried the load on here. And before we kind of go into back and forth between the Blue Jays and the Dodgers, is this a bullpen that because they haven't been tested as much, maybe that provides you with a little bit more concern?
I mean, no, I think all the guys in the bullpen pretty much have been tested before in the past. It's not a very young group. It's like Jack Dreyer might be the only one that comes to mind of a guy who hasn't pitched in a big spot before. We saw Ben Kasparius in the World Series last year. We saw Bonda in the World Series. We saw Trinan. We've seen Vesia there. I guess Rocky's the other one, but he's looked phenomenal in every big situation they put him in so far this year. So I'm not too worried about that aspect of it. I think the rest will probably benefit them. Not getting as many looks against them because the starters are going so deep should help them. So, yeah, that's not something I'm too worried about.
Yeah, I mean, you look at Blake Trinan stats here, a lot of his expected stuff is much better than his ERA has been. We're talking a 7.36 ERA this postseason with a 2.04 FIP, 3.73 expected FIP, and 3.42 expected ERA. So his ERA is much higher than his expected numbers there. If you believe in those things and if that fits your narrative, but that's really where it's been at. We haven't seen Emmett Sheehan as much as I thought we would. Any reason to that, or it's just flat out matchup base, just didn't get into it.
I think they haven't really needed to go to their bullpen a whole lot. I think it was like 36 or 26 or 28 of the 35 innings or something that the Dodgers bullpen or starting pitchers took. So there just wasn't that much runway for him. You needed Roki to cover the ninth, and they're still going to go to Bonda and Vesia versus lefties, and then Trinan is still the highest up on the right-handed leverage. That's not the closer, so yeah, I mean, I just didn't think there was any real runway for him. You probably could have fit him in one game, but I think it was game 3. He was also warming up for like 3 innings or something, and he never ended up coming in. So that is a toll on the pitcher that you have to consider moving forward. So it is just something like he was an option to come in, and it just never, the game situation never came around to it.
I can totally agree. Yeah. Jonathan wants to say this. Hi, Scott. Hi, Blake, too, I guess. Dang. Gotta say hi to some big Blake Williams over here. It's crazy. Aaron says, question for Blake, and then we'll roll right into this. This is a good lead, tee up for us here. Question for Blake. Curious as to why you think Toronto is better. Jays have a worse team ERA than Seattle, and I trust the starting pitching can control the offense. I'd much rather see worse pitching.
Yeah, so I am personally of the belief that the Mariners starting pitching and pitching in general is very overrated. They play in the most pitcher-friendly ballpark in baseball, and if you look at their home road splits, they're significantly different. I believe it's something around like 3.2 ERA at home and 4.9 on the road. So they're really benefiting from how friendly their stadium is, and we've seen that with Teoscar. Like, he couldn't hit it all in Seattle, and then he comes to LA, and he's an all-star level hitter. So yeah, their lineup doesn't scare me that much. Like, Cal Raleigh's good, J-Rod's good, but they're prone to chase. I just think they weren't that great of a lineup overall. Whereas the Blue Jays, they probably have the top 3 offense in baseball. They have some really intriguing starting pitchers with Kevin Gausman and Trey Yesavage, I think that's how you pronounce his last name.
You got it.
I mean, Max Scherzer is not who he once was, but he's still really good. So yeah, that's kind of where I was at. Like, the Blue Jays are probably the toughest team the Dodgers will have had to face in this postseason, right up there with the Phillies. So it's going to be tough. The Blue Jays are a very good team. And also, one more thing on the Mariners, they throw their fastball like 60% of the time as a staff, which I felt like the Dodgers would feast off of. That's the highest mark in baseball. So yeah, I just felt like they were not a great matchup for the Dodgers and not very good to begin with.
Yeah, they would definitely feast on that. So that's why I spoke about it, Blake, this morning. And I'm going to lead this straight in here. We're going to do a little breakdown between the two. And that's why I was prefacing all of my conversations with people looking at the Blue Jays and how much of a juggernaut the Dodgers have looked throughout this postseason, just losing one game. The Blue Jays are a very put together ball club. They do a lot of different things. They have a diverse lineup approach. They've got guys who hit for power, hit for contact. They don't strike out. They have the lowest strikeout rate as a team in Major League Baseball during the regular season, and that trend has continued into the postseason. As a whole, I've got their stuff and I've got their lineup here. Just had it. K rates wise, it's right in the heart of the order. Vladimir Guerrero Jr. striking out at just 6%. Ernie Clement has been a very quality piece for them. 195 WRC plus here throughout the postseason, striking out just 4.4% of the time, walking, low walk rate there. But the big boppers, they're going to walk, but strikeout rate, Andres Jimenez, 11.6, Alejandro Kirk, 14.3, Nathan Lukes, who I'm a fan of playing right field for him, about 12% there. Addison Barger, one of the lefties, 17.5, and then George Springer, 20.8%. Yeah, Vladimir Guerrero Jr., 5.9. So you look across, and those numbers for the Seattle Mariners, in contrast, are way up. So the Toronto Blue Jays are a much tougher team to face as far as lineup diversity and not chasing. So the starting staff is going to, again, have their hands full with a lineup who can absolutely do different things, hopefully to get them out of the game.
Yeah, for sure. Like, Vladdy is a scary hitter. He's probably the best hitter the Dodgers have faced in the playoffs in quite some time. Considering Aaron Judge didn't hit in the playoffs at all like last year, Vladdy has been playing well. George Springer, I think, will give a lot of Dodger fans nightmares. He just sent them to the World Series. He always plays well in the postseason for some reasons that are other reasons than his talent, but he's also still very good. I mean, they have a really deep lineup. They don't really have any holes in the lineup. they're very similar to the Dodgers in that sense, where anyone in the lineup can do damage at any given moment. They have high-end starting pitchers, and their bullpen is kind of a mess a bit, similar to the Dodgers. Like, they have a few guys they're relying on and a lot of guys who are struggling. So
yeah,
they are similar to the Dodgers in a lot of senses, and I think it's going to be a very intriguing matchup, and a lot of good baseball is going to be played.
Yeah, I mean, offensively, Blake, the nod, it goes to the Dodgers from a top to bottom sense as far as power, contact, and what they do, correct? That's kind of where you fall?
Yeah.
Yeah, from a starting standpoint, it's Dodgers and a landslide, not even close.
Yeah, I mean, all the projection systems have the Dodgers at 66% chance of winning or right around there, which seems high to me. They also had the Mariners as the favorites over the Blue Jays, so those things don't matter a whole lot. But I don't know, man. The Blue Jays are just a really good team, and they're going to give the Dodgers more troubles than I think people are expecting.
Yeah, baseball still has to be played, and that's still something to keep in mind and not get way too far ahead of yourselves. We said that about the Brewers, and the Dodgers handled them easily. And we saw the Blue Jays as far as, starting pitching usage. They had some performances. Max Scherzer had kind of, I would say a renaissance performance. He did all right. 5 2/3 there, looked all right. They didn't go insane. Trey Savage the Mariners got to him there. Shane Bieber got knocked around a little bit there. Kevin Gausman has been used, pitched 17. He has pitched 17 innings this postseason with their starting pitchers, Blake. I'll pick one name. I said this morning on Unplugged that I think I circled Trey Savage as the one with the best stuff coming out of their starting pitching unit. I know that Kevin Gausman has the splitter, and it's devastating. But Trey Savage is someone who, as far as having the best stuff, who can go out there and just shove and shut an offense down. Is he the one that you're circling a little bit?
Probably, because the Dodgers haven't seen him, and they tend to struggle against guys who they haven't seen before. But I think Gausman is still the best pitcher on the staff, and I would count on him to be like their number one, the guy they rely on the most.
I'm going to put this up here. And normally I wouldn't do this, but El Shiva says Blake's in his typical gloom and doom. So doom and gloom Blake is here. And I don't know where you guys are getting doom and gloom Blake, because the Toronto Blue Jays, you look at it, they have everything we're saying. A diverse lineup. They give you different looks. Their starters, when they're on, can do different things. Their bullpen has, I would say, outperformed, is what I would say. But offensively, they can perform. They can hit. They've been one of the top offenses in Major League Baseball throughout the regular season and into the postseason. The Milwaukee Brewers won games based on putting the ball in play, taking advantage of opposing teams' mistakes, not too much slug, and just getting singles. And the Dodgers eliminated that. The Phillies, ton of whiff. And now this is a Blue Jays team who don't whiff. They don't swing and miss a lot. They're going to go out there, have like I said, diverse lineup stuff. But this is a Blue Jays team where you can't just say they're going to roll them in 4 without completely breaking it down. So it's not doom and gloom Blake. We're just giving it to you straight. So,
I mean, I've been the one all year saying like the regular season doesn't matter until you get into the postseason too, trying to be like that optimistic about it. I said last year they'd be fine and win the World Series. I don't know. I feel like I'm trying to be realistic and not just saying the Blue Jays are a pushover. I think they're a really good team. They're in the World Series for a reason. And it's not just going to be a cakewalk for the Dodgers like I thought it would be if they played the Mariners.
W. Blake. Here we go. Blake is consistent. He was adamant. What matters most in the postseason is who's on fire. Blue Jays offense, like Vladdy, are on fire. 100% here. Yeah, Kenny, good to see you, man. He says Blue Jays should be underestimated. Yeah, Kenny, great to see you in here, man. You've had good stuff in the comments all night. Dodgers just need to handle business, and that's exactly what it is. They need to handle business, Blake. How do the Los Angeles Dodgers match up against the Blue Jays, and how do they handle business?
I mean, if you want the positive, everything's great take.
No, I'm
saying like
I'm saying scouting report how they do this.
The opposite of like my takes about the Blue Jays being good is the Dodgers are still better. They're the better team. They have better starting pitching. They still have a better lineup, and they have better superstars. Their bullpen is probably still better. So like this is a better team. My pushback to that was better teams don't always win in the postseason, and the Blue Jays are a very good team that can pull off a win. It's not like we're seeing Dodgers and the worst team in baseball, like the White Sox or the Marlins or just some terrible team coming in. It's a very good team that they're playing. So just giving the Blue Jays some credit here, but if the Dodgers go out and they do their thing, if they pitch well, if they hit well, like we know they're capable of, it's probably going to be a pretty easy series for them just because they're better all around. But that's still like 5 or 6 games, not pushing it to game 7, and probably not a sweep still. But like I said, the Blue Jays are also very capable of winning a series. And if the Dodgers come out sluggish with their hitting after the week off, if the Dodgers starting pitching regresses a bit and their offense doesn't fully wake up, because as we know, like their starting pitching has been carrying them through this postseason, and the offense has left a lot to be desired, even though they're 9-1. They're hitting like 1 something with runners in scoring position throughout the postseason. So I think that is a concern for the Dodgers. So if they start being better in those spots and take care of their own things, they're going to win this series. But we don't know if that's going to happen. It should happen because the Dodgers are better, but we just don't know.
You want my take, Mr. Williams? You want me to let you know what I think the offense is going to do?
Sure.
I think they're going to come out slugging. I think they're going to come out crushing because they've got no lefties. I don't see any looks from the Brewers that provide me with any pause. If Trey Savage decides to go out there and do what he did against the Yankees and kind of stymie them for the bit, then sure, then you're going to have to just give him a couple innings there. But we've seen the Dodgers starting pitching carry this unit the entire postseason, and I've got no reason to deviate from that. And they're going to continue to lean on it. We spoke prior that they were they were going to answer the call, and they have. So as long as they're able to keep that, the door will be cracked open, and I think the Dodgers are going to break that thing down. I'm not saying blowouts, but I'm saying that for what the Dodgers can do and how they can break starting pitchers, force them into a corner and put them into this box. That's how I see it. There's too many professional hitters in this Dodgers lineup. There's maybe one right now, Andy Paz, where I'm like, what are you doing, brother? And I'm happy that he's having, doing what he can as far as sacrifice bunts. And he had the knock, opposite field double. I think that was against Freddie Peralta and to doing that. But to what Rosemary's saying right here, our lefty bats are salivating. Like this is a spot for them where they're facing exclusively right-handed starters. And what happens, we talked about this, I say this to you off stream all the time. It's like when you provide a lineup with a breath of fresh air pitcher, I think that, with Max Scherzer, Shane Bieber, yes, those are veteran arms. Those are guys who have been around the block and they've had their own runs of success. But Max Scherzer is not who he once was. He had a abbreviated, 5 2/3. That's cool and all that, but he didn't punch a lot out. He got a lot of BABIP luck. He got a lot of FIP luck and what have you there. But Shane Bieber's been knocked around. Gosman's been used in different roles right now. He's primarily a big 2-pitch, 3-pitch guy. Dodgers can feast on that. I'm thinking the Dodgers offense is primed and ready to go. They've been waiting for their time to break out. So that's how I see it, Blake. I think they're ready to do this thing, man. I think they're ready to do this thing.
I agree in the sense of like talent-wise, matchup-wise, on paper, they have all the advantages. My concern is they haven't hit well this postseason to begin with, and now there's a week layoff. So we'll see. Like, they should be better. They should come out and hit. They should win the series. We've seen too many times that should doesn't work out sometimes, and this isn't a Blue Jays team that you can just run over when things aren't going well. Like, they didn't really hit much versus the Brewers, but the Brewers were not a very good team, and the Dodgers were able to just win based on their pitching. So that's kind of my concern with playing the Blue Jays. Like, they're not a team that's going to beat themselves, I think, as you said earlier. So the Dodgers have to come out and play the best baseball that they're capable of, and it's not just a pushover series.
Yeah. People want us to make a prediction, Blake. People want us to make a prediction. They want you to make them feel good. And I'll say mine right away. I said earlier I want to see it in 5 because I want to win at home. So I'm going to say 5 because I want them to clinch a World Series title at home. But if you want my honest thing, it's 6. And that's because I'm giving the Blue Jays the credit that their offense deserves. And that's just, they have a couple guys in there who can have that big swing. They can do it. Vladimir Guerrero Jr., George Springer, they have a few guys in that lineup. Alejandro Kirk has had his spots there, but that's just giving them, enough credit because they're in the World Series. That's where that comes from. So realistically, I'm going to say 6, but I want to see 5. I think they have their capability to go out there and absolutely push the Blue Jays into that box to finish this thing off in 5 and flood them and force their starting pitchers and force their bullpen to work off game script early on. And if that happens in game 1, Blake, we're really going to see the Dodgers, get to them early, because these are arms where, look, veteran guys, it's asking a lot of Shane Bieber and Max Scherzer and Trey Savage, rookie, and Kevin Gausman to do all these odd things and provide them length in different spots. If the Dodgers do that early on, Blake, if they force them to go off game script, I'm looking at 5, and I'm circling that multiple times.
I'm going Dodgers in 6. I think they split the first 2 in Toronto. Then the Dodgers come back and take 2 out of 3 at home, and then take the final one in Toronto. That's where I'm at.
Yeah,
I could be talked into 5 probably. I don't think it'll be a sweep, and I don't think it'll take 7. So, yeah, I'll go Dodgers in 6. They are the better team.
Yep,
they match up very well. The Blue Jays are just good, so that's why I'm not saying like sweep or run over, push them over type thing.
Totally good with that. Absolutely. Dr. B saying Dodgers in 5, Dodgers in 5, Dodgers in 5. Yeah, I see it. I want to see 5. I think they're lined up to do it. We're going to talk game 1, game 2 in just a little bit here. We've got a couple of super chats to get into real fast. Let's see. Rosemary, real fast, wants to take on all the righties. I believe that's for the bullpen. Rosemary, we're going back to that there. Blake, I just want to, before we move on, that's been up there for a minute. Before we move on, I just want to know about just your take on the righties and the bullpen real fast before. I know we're backtracking a bit, but I want to answer this one for Rosemary here.
Roki, very good. Blake Trinan can be good, but we haven't seen it much, so hopefully he kind of gets back on track. Who else? Ben Kasparius, we haven't seen in quite a while, so he was really good versus righties. Hopefully he can continue that. Emmett Sheehan, I have a lot of trust in. I think he's fine. He'll be a good option for them if they need someone to give them an inning or 2. And we don't know who else is going to be on the roster, so I'm going to decline from saying anyone else.
And then hold off, and then we'll see. But Blake and I both think that it's possibly going to be a right-handed reliever here. Shelly wants to know, what's Michael Kopech's status? Love the show. Yeah, questioning that.
Kopech is out for the rest of the season.
Yeah.
He's going to be a free agent after the year. Doubt he's back.
I agree. 300 says this. Have you heard if Bo Bichette will be back? I know he spoke Bo Bichette was speaking to the media in the clubhouse after, in their World Series celebration, or the ALCS celebration, and said he felt like he was ready to go and he would be ready to go. He hasn't played in a bit, and he's been, working through some knee troubles there. Have you heard anything about Bo Bichette?
All I know is that he said he's good to go. So
yeah,
that's also what Tanner Scott said.
Yeah. I don't know how much you're going to get from Bo Bichette. I know he had a great regular season, but working his way back and not being up to speed, and you're working on an injury, trying to get your way back through that and get yourself up to it. I mean, look, Bo Bichette's been a quality piece for them. It's just how much are they going to use him, and how much is that, his lower leg, his leg's going to hold up here. P. Lee wants to know, teams are going to figure out, Trey Savage, batters weren't used to his high release pitches, but videos are going to get batters used to his quirky release. I mean, look, the Mariners started to get to him. It's just a matter of time and looks, and teams providing the Dodgers with looks, and that's what they've done all postseason. Scratch the Reds thing out. You're looking purely at the Brewers and the Phillies. You give the Dodgers enough looks at an arm that they haven't seen early on in a series, it's over for you. You can't do it. If it doesn't work out, like if you just throw everything at the wall and it's all for naught and a loss, then it's just you provided them with both a win and then more looks at some of these guys that you're leaning on. Because I think they're going to use Trey Savage as much as they possibly can. It's all hands on deck no matter what. Phil, Scott doesn't deserve to be on the roster. Let it be fuel to bounce back next year. Kershaw will be. It's Roberts and many others' dream. He finishes out the World Series, would need to be up 4 or 5. Yeah, thoughts on that, Blake?
I think they'd have to be up by 8 or something to let Kershaw go finish it out. We saw the last time he pitched in the postseason this year. Yeah, I don't think they're going to risk anything. Maybe if they're up by 4 or 5 and they're up 3-0 in the series already. But yeah, I don't think they're going to play any narrative ball. I think they're just going to try and win it.
Yeah. Some people in chat saying that Bo Bichette is going to be, their plan is maybe to possibly put him at DH and move Springer to the outfield and stuff like that. So they'll find ways to get him in there if he's healthy and ready to go and he can hit and he can run. And when he's on the bases, if he gets on the bases.
Springer also has his knee issue going on. So
got smoked in the knee, didn't he?
Hit the ball out there to him, and it'll be like Teo versus Springer, who makes less errors. That team wins the World Series.
That's great. Look, JF wants to know, did Teo shine at Rogers Center when he was a Blue Jay? I don't remember.
He was very good in his career in Toronto. I don't know the splits, but out there when he was playing with Toronto, he had a really, really great run.
I just remember that. I remember he was really good when he was out there. That's kind of where you look at him and you see his name, that he was just a slugger. Yeah, let's see. Toronto, I don't know, out like primarily in Rogers Center. Baseball Reference going to make my computer crash. It always does that. So I'm going to click off of there and just take your word for it. It's already working overdrive here, so we're going to click off.
He had a 32 homer season with the Blue Jays in, I think, 2021. So
there you go.
I assume he hit pretty well at home if he was doing that.
I would say so too. All right, let's see. Let's see here. Any final thoughts on the Blue Jays, Blake? I love what you said about how it's just, this is a team that can do it all. This is a team that they made it here for a reason. But overwhelmingly, there's a reason why Fangraphs has them at about 2/3 odds favorites to win this series. This is a Dodgers team where the starting staff is historic. It's compared to the 90s Braves. There's a reason for that. You're looking at possibly, Hall of Fame stuff out of what they're doing right now. Starting rotation in the postseason, we may never see again. This is, for me, what I've said, the 100th percentile outcome for how the front office for the Dodgers wanted and envisioned for this. I think, and I know you agree with this, pitching will always beat good hitting. And this is a starting pitching unit. Relax. It's true.
I'm on the hitting wins championships in general.
That's fine, but good pitching can always make, if you miss bats, that's it. Like if you're able to go stymie hitters, nothing happens for you. So good pitchers will always defeat good hitters. So that's just how it goes. And that's where I lean heavily with the Dodgers. And if they're able to just continue doing what they do, give the Dodgers offense enough time to swing that pendulum, I'm hard pressed to find a way that the Blue Jays can do that for an entire series when you can turn your starting pitching rotation back over with once, if that game 5 comes back up again.
I mean, yeah, on paper, the Dodgers win this series pretty easy. I'm just also saying the Blue Jays are a good team. That seems to make people mad. I think everyone wants me to come on here and say the Dodgers are going to sweep. It's going to be an easy series. Give no credit to the Blue Jays, but
it's not what we do here, Blake.
Yeah, they're a good team. I'm not going to come on here and lie to you guys. It's going to be a tough series. The Dodgers are still better, and they should still win the series. We've just seen too many times that doesn't always work out. So I'm trying to point out the strengths of the Blue Jays and what they do well and why it'll be a tough series.
Yeah, you don't have to appease the chat. They know we're just spitting facts on a team that made it to the World Series for a reason. But so let's talk about this because it's of note, and I haven't seen anybody bring it up yet in chat. Is there anything to the Blue Jays and the Mariners going 7 games and really having to exert themselves? Is there anything to that? And don't even speak about the layoff. Kind of how do you see that much going to the brink in an ALCS series? How much does that affect them?
I think it could, just from the sense their pitchers got used more. I mean, you said don't talk about the layoff, but they still have 3 days off, which I think will help them. I would put a lot more stock into it if they were playing the World Series today and it got moved up or tomorrow and they only had a day off as opposed to the 3 days off. I think that will benefit them a bit. But, I mean, their pitchers have been used a lot. I think, was it Louis Varland that has pitched in every single game this postseason so far?
Every game but one.
So, that's got to be tiring on him. We saw that happen to Brandon Morrow. And I don't know how much stock you can put in Brandon Morrow's year because the Astros were cheating. But, his stuff wasn't as sharp at the end there. Who knows how he would have done without the Astros. But, stuff like that takes a toll still. Roki should be a little fresher, so that'll help the Dodgers out. But, I mean, I don't know. I think you could argue it could be a benefit to them because they're playing high leverage games. They're keeping their rhythm a little later into it. Whereas the Dodgers, they're starting fresh a little bit more. but also like the Blue Jays used up more energy. They didn't get as long of a rest. So I really think you could make a case either way. And it probably depends on each individual player, how much it helps or hurts them. And it's not as much of a team thing as a per person issue or benefit.
Sure. And that's why I think it helps the Dodgers a lot. A matter of you have a rested starting pitcher who's able to go out there and find a rhythm. Great layup here. Ivan, thank you for this. He says, favorite Blake, Snell or Williams?
But Trinan.
He didn't include that. So, it's not what he asked. It's definitely, sorry, man. But Blake, can you rap?
Can I rap?
Yeah, can
like
you rap?
Singing, rapping, or like rapping a present?
Singing, rapping. No. Then Blake Snell for me. You can't. Blake Snell has got the most fire rap video ever. So Blake Snell.
I mean, there's another rap video from a famous MLB pitcher who grew up in Santa Clarita. Are you taking him over some other Trevors?
I'm taking Mr. Blake Snell. Mr. Blake Snell, bring it home for me. That's what I'm doing. And also, Ivan, that's why I feel great about game 1, because the Dodgers have Blake Snell, who has been built and been, formed in a lab to take the ball in game 1 of a postseason series. And that's why I feel comfortable that even with the layoff, Blake Snell is going to provide the Dodgers possibly with a runway to get the pulse of the postseason, get of the World Series. And if they have like a layoff there, if they have a little bit of a hiccup, inning 1, whatever, go out there, put up a 0, go put up 2 zeros. And then you start to just chip away. You make the starters for the Blue Jays work, and you find your rhythm, and you go from that sense. You don't have someone going out that you feel shaky about. And that's where I'm at, Blake. And that's why I'm so confident that if you get game 1, it's just then it puts the other team in a situation where if you don't have your ace on the mound, then you've got to find a way to do it. And the Dodgers have 4 number 1s, Blake. That's how it goes. Diamond in the rough.
That's a famous rap song that I was referring to from a certain pitcher.
Facts.
So if you haven't seen it, it's hilarious. You can go make fun of him even more.
If you know, you know.
Great time.
Norm says Snell is hungry to get a ring. Feels like he should have won in 2020. Yeah, he does. He's pitching motivated. Yeah. But Dodgers do a thing. They announce game 1, game 2 starters. Take that away, Blake. Go ahead.
It should be no surprise that Blake Snell will be on the mound in game 1 and Yoshinobu Yamamoto in the mound in game 2. Dave Roberts started out by saying, I think we're going to run our rotation back, which probably means you're also going to see Glasnow in game 3 and Snell in game 4, before he kind of corrected himself and said, we haven't decided on 3 and 4 yet. But yeah, right now they have officially announced Snell and Yamamoto as the game 1 and 2 starters, and then 3 and 4 are kind of up for debate, but I think we all kind of know it's going to be Glasnow and Ohtani for 3 and 4.
Yeah. And then you get those starts at home and then just reset it and go from there. And that's kind of where a ton of my, solace comes from, Blake. The fact that you're able to pencil these guys in and just have them on a steady rotation on proper rest, and you don't feel like you have to stretch them. You don't have to or push them or put them on short rest. And that's where a lot of my confidence comes in. And you don't have to worry about who's pitching in there, who you're going to slide up, who can you put on short rest, and if they can't do it, have they done it? Yeah.
Shout out to Connor. He knows ball.
Consummate foresight. Here you go. Nameless wants to know, how many days of rest does Snell need? How fast? How quick could Blake Snell turn around and start a game?
He would be available for game 5, and then probably available for an inning out of the bullpen in game 7. So all hands on deck if it gets to game 7, and I'm sure Snell would tell Dave, like, I'm ready to go.
Game 1 for the Toronto Blue Jays, Kevin Gausman, right?
Probably. I mean, I'd assume so. I didn't pay attention too much to their rotation in the CS, but they have the 3 days off now. He didn't start yesterday, so yeah, it'll probably be him.
Yeah, that's the way I think I'm going to see it. He's been used quite a bit. He got two starts, 11 and a third, including a relief appearance in the championship series round. Kevin Gausman has been used a lot, but his expected stuff is way different than what he put out there. And that's why I appreciate what you said about the Dodgers essentially having missed opportunities against the Milwaukee Brewers and the way they have to capitalize on those. And that's the way they're going to suffocate the starting pitching and the relievers of the Toronto Blue Jays. Don't miss those opportunities. They provide those opportunities. You put yourself in position to scratch runs across. That's what you have to do, because they will have those opportunities. It's just a matter of capitalizing on those. And the Dodgers have a lineup to absolutely do it and flood you. And I expect that to be a thing. I really do. I really do, Blake. With Shohei Ohtani in the final game of the series, the clincher has a historic outing, 3 home runs. Look, did the Dodgers did the Toronto Blue Jays, are they ready for a Shohei Ohtani who was woken up by the Milwaukee Brewers?
I hope not. I hope Ohtani goes off and hits 4 homers in the first 3 games or something like that. But, I mean, we'll see. Ohtani had a very long stretch of being in a slump this postseason, and then it seemed like he kind of woke up. So we'll see if he can keep it going. I'm sure the Blue Jays probably won't give him many opportunities to beat them, and he'll probably be walked a lot. But, I mean, yeah, it's Shohei Ohtani. I'm not going to bet against him.
Yeah, got you. All right, let's do some questions. Everybody, all caps question. We're going to get to as many as we can there. Shout out to Don in the chat. Love you, man. But yeah, all caps question. We'll take as many as we need until Blake texts me on the side and says, I've had enough, buddy. Let me out of here.
Let me out of here. To catch.
He's got Pokemon to catch. And then we've got a ton of content between here and Friday to get us there. So we're going to break a bunch down, position stuff. We're going to go through it, more of the stuff that comes out. But all caps question, and then we'll put Blake to work. Someone Style wants to know, Sasaki's velo a worry versus the Reds average 100.6, Phillies 100.3, 99.5, Brewers average 98.9, 97 in that order.
I want to say yes, a little. I'm really hoping the week off benefits him, but we did see him become a little less effective as time went on with the velo drop. So it's a role he hasn't done a lot. It is a bit of a concern for me personally, but I'm hoping this time off will help get him reset, refresh his arm a bit, and he'll come out and be able to cover another 3 or 4 games.
Question here from LSU, do you predict Kershaw in relief in the World Series, Blake? Short answer.
Yes.
Sign says, Scotty, this is Blake on my alt account. I've had enough of questions. All right. Sounds good, Blake. That's it. That'll do it. Thanks, everybody. Here we go. Do you have any concerns with the Dodgers playing or the outfield on turf? Any concerns with that? Seeing Teoscar, Andy Pages in the outfield?
No, I don't think so. I mean, maybe a ball speeds up on them a little too much, but I'm gonna hope they're gonna practice it and work on it when they get to Toronto, and it won't be a huge thing. Yeah.
Norm, don't you think who's behind the plate is a huge factor? If you get one who pinches the zone, that could elevate pitch counts for the starters and get them out earlier than expected. Did you watch a lot of the ALCS?
Not a ton. I was doing more Dodger stuff, and
their umpires, that was horrible. I don't know if the zone, I'll just tell you right now, the zone was terrible. It was massive. Like, we're talking massive strike zones. So I would hope they get the best of the best in there. I would hope they get someone, it definitely doesn't help, starters with having a massive zone. It doesn't help anybody having a massive zone except pitchers. But the zone in the ALCS was horrible, like all around. So that is definitely a factor when umpires have a tight zone, very by the book. If it's tight zone, then, they're probably getting a lot of calls correct. And if they're missing stuff in the zone, then that's on them. But I'd hope MLB puts the best guys in a spot to succeed back there and who are most consistent throughout the regular season and in the postseason. But yeah, it's always the concern, Blake, of a starter who is getting squeezed, getting pinched in the zone, and then the pitch count decides to skyrocket and you get off kilter. But you kind of see those tendencies and those trends early on in the game. The goal is to go out there and have a quick inning. If you're hunting strikeouts and you're walking guys and getting behind, then that's, the story writes itself that you're going to know they're going to be out by the 6th inning for sure. All right, let's see here. Thank you for starring these, buddy. Let's see. Manny, when is Blake getting Scotty a bucket hat?
When does he want one?
I don't know. Whenever it arrives in the mail.
I have a Grogu one.
I don't know. Maybe they repeat, then I'll put it on. Not on stream though. El Shiva says, question: Blake tried to eat poutine in Toronto, but you're not going, sadly.
No, Matt is covering for us this year. I did last year, and I did Korea and Japan. So
you got to have all the fun.
Matt's getting his World Series run this year.
Yeah, Blake got to have all the fun with the 2024 team. That was, vibes based, elite, everything. Rosemary wants to know, how happy are we that we get Joe Davis back? I know you watch games out of the corner of your eye while you're working at the same time. Any thoughts on the TBS TNT crew?
I honestly don't listen to the announcers at all. It's the last thing on my mind. So I'm kind of indifferent on it. I think Joe Davis is really good at what he does, but yeah, I'm never really paying attention to what they're saying.
Yeah. I'm happy that Joe Davis is back on the call. Joe Davis knows ball. He will call out a move that needs to be made, and he will rip you for one on air for one that is blatant. Just like, what's his name? Oh my gosh, I'm blanking on the name. Seattle's manager. I forgot his name. My gosh. Wilson. I'm forgetting his first name. My bad. Dan Wilson. Yes. He was ripping him a new one for that call. Real quick, this is great. Don wants to know. That's our buddy John. Call him Don. Says, is Matt to blame if things go south? Absolutely. 100%.
100%. Yep.
Yes, without a doubt. Everybody, if the Dodgers end up losing this series, direct everything at Matt Moreno. I will not dox him and let everybody know where to send stuff, but we can blame him.
His email is on his website profile. If you go click on one of his articles and click his name, it'll have his email right at the bottom. So direct all hate mail there if they lose.
Correct. I couldn't agree more. And that he will be the one to blame. He caused it all. Aaron wants to know this is assuming they win, who gets the last out for the Dodgers?
I mean, technically someone would get the last out if they lose also. But I mean, I'm going to go with Roki. I think he's the safe bet here.
Who do you want it to be?
Who do I want it to be? My guy Monda would be cool. Or Emmett Sheehan would be cool. A lot of times it feels like it isn't actually the closer that gets the final out.
Something random.
Yeah, I mean.
Big Walker Buehler.
The one that always sticks in my mind, do you remember who got it for the Cubs after they made their trade for Aroldis Chapman? They gave up Gleiber for Aroldis. It wasn't even Aroldis who closed out the World Series for them.
He blew the game in that. Didn't he blow it?
Yep.
Who was it?
Mike Montgomery.
Mike Montgomery. Wow, what a pull. W. Blake. Yep, BMR knows it too. Let's see. El Shiva wants to know, are we likely to see Kasparius on the mound at all? I'd say so.
Probably. I think we're going to see a lot more relievers than we saw in the CS.
Connor wants to know, who has more homers this series, Ohtani, Teoscar, or Freddie Freeman?
Taking Ohtani. I mean, Blue Jays are very right-handed. Ohtani just had the run that he went on with the 3-homer game. I feel like Ohtani always hits his in bunches. Once he has a game where he hits one, then he's going to hit a few more in the next few games. So yeah. It was the AB. It was the AB for me, man, where he pulled that. It was the homer that pretty much left the stadium. That ball, it was a good pitch. That wasn't a bad pitch. It was like two and a half balls off the plate, inner half. And I feel like it's going to happen again. The fact that he's doing that, just like you said, it comes in bunches. And when he's seeing it, it's otherworldly. So I think that's going to be the same case. I think he's going to roll right into this series with the same mindset, same eye. I think those bunches are going to continue. And it's Ohtani's World Series to just take over. So last postseason, after he got injured, right in the World Series there, he was contributing. He was having an impact there. But right now, with that 3-homer game, I will say it. I believe it woke him up, man. I really believe it woke him up. He just needs to go out there and set the tone. Don't let them pitch around him. If they decide to, just make them pay. Flat out make them pay. Cole, what odds do you give Ohtani to complete the MVP trifecta? NL MVP, NLCS MVP, and World Series MVP? 40%.
Would that be the greatest season of all time?
I mean, probably. I think you could make a case last year was his best season going 50-50, but This year he hit 55 homers and pitched, and if he wins World Series and NLCS MVP, I mean, there's an argument, but also Barry Bonds hit 73 homers in a season and walked like as much as he struck out, or walked a ton of times. I mean, it'll be up there.
Ooh. BC, speaking my language, he's saying he thinks Mookie Betts will be the World Series MVP. Hey, don't get me going here, BC. We're live on air. That's good stuff. Oh, Shiva says, will Tommy Tanks break out? He already has. Tommy Tanks has already broken out. Tommy Tanks has already done his thing. He is one of the most underrated players in ball. Come postseason time, he just knows what to do. It's unreasonable and absolutely unfathomable that people doubted Mr. Tom Edman. Said he was a below average player, and coming into the postseason, he does exactly what he does.
I believe the words were below average hitter, which he does
exactly what he does, and he just has a knack for the moment and doesn't try to do too much of a big thing. He just puts bat to ball there. He finds himself in the spot because he's inserted into those lineup spots, and the game finds him. And guess what, El Shiva? He does what he does, and he performs. So Tommy Tanks has already broken out. He just has to continue doing what he's doing. Yeah, Tommy Tanks, awesome baseball IQ. He's a beast. There's a reason why. Yeah, I unloaded the bag for Tommy Edman World Series and NLCS MVP memorabilia last year. Reason for it. All right. Blake, this one's for you, buddy. Dodgers World Series title or Patriots AFC East title? Those things, I mean, those are like not even in the same realm.
If you changed it to Super Bowl, my answer might be a little different here, but Dodgers win a championship. However,
if the Patriots won a Super Bowl, Mr. Blake Williams, would you climb a light pole in downtown New England?
No.
I'm
not that crazy fan.
Yeah, you would. Stop. Let's not do this. You definitely would. You'd have a rager. You'd climb light poles.
Time out. Can we get a quick update on our Patriots Titans game this week? I don't know how much of the chat knows you're a Titans fan, and
I told you they were going to lose.
They had a nice matchup this week.
I told you they were going to lose. It was a game at halftime. You should be disappointed.
You didn't reply to me. It was very sad.
I was coaching the kiddos. I was up in Ventura coaching the kiddos, and you were laying on your bed playing Pokemon, watching the Patriots underwhelm at halftime. Next question. LSU wants to know, do we expect Justin Dean to be on the roster?
Yes.
Yeah, I agree. I definitely agree here. What's the best comp for the Blue Jays in terms of opponents we faced in previous World Series or playoffs? Good question.
See, my first thought is like the Yankees last year, but without the defensive mistakes. I mean, the Yankees had some really good top-end pitching. They had a really good lineup, a superstar in the middle of their order. So, like, that comes to mind, but the Yankees ended up beating themselves a lot with the bad defense and the poor pitching decisions and stuff. So, I think they're similar teams, just with better defense for the Blue Jays.
Yeah. Raul wants to know, when did World Series rosters get finalized?
They'll be due the Friday morning, so we'll probably hear it around then.
Let's see. Question about any concern about the defense. I'll say no. I mean, I know the Blue Jays put the ball in play a lot, but we've seen the Dodgers defense look great this postseason. They've made a number of game-saving plays, run-saving plays. They've been pushed into spots where it's like the opposing teams are trying to scratch runs across here, but the Dodgers just baseball IQ, positioning wise, it's saved them a lot, and it's been great for them. So I have no concerns right now about the defense. Will Smith, aside from some throws down to second base and stuff like that, I've got no issues with the defense currently.
Yeah, I'm pretty much there too. I mean, I don't love when Teoscar's hit out there, or when the balls hit to Teoscar out there, but that's why Dean is on the roster. So shouldn't be an issue late in games. Yeah, I don't think defense would be a reason they lose.
Good question here. Will we see Big Ben Rortvedt at all in the World Series?
He will probably be on the TV at some point, sitting on the bench cheering. I don't think he makes it into a game.
Yeah, I totally got you. BMR says, I asked this the other day, Scott or Blake, do you either of you know the last time the Dodgers clinched a World Series at Dodger Stadium? I don't remember this.
A long time ago. It was probably in like their 60s run or something around there, one of those 50s, late 50s, early 60s when they won. Forget the exact years, but guessing it's one of those years.
Yeah, totally got you there. I have no clue.
Yeah.
Stuff's before my time. I have no idea. 1963.
Before
I
your
wasn't
time.
even a thought. I wasn't even a thought.
Thought you were like 10 back then.
This dude's Blake. I'm only like 4 years older than you, man. Relax. This is great. This is great. Chat, if you've since the 1700 in here, you've waited this entire show for this question. Ricardo wants to know, Big Blake Williams, your 1 through 10 confidence level in the Dodgers winning the World Series.
Probably like a 7.5. I think that's pretty high up there for as good as I think the Blue Jays are. I don't think you could talk me into any higher than that.
I said an 8. I said an 8 this morning, so glad you're right there. Okay, cool. All right. People saying bro's looking old. You guys are insane. Don't do this. You're bringing up the Scott's old narrative again. This is insane. This is out of control.
I think we had those like every Thursday last year, and they won the World Series. So
we're not bringing it. We're not bringing it back. We're not bringing it back. That's that's why Unplugs in the morning. Is that when the lights, the sun goes down.
The early bird special DodgerHeads.
That's insane. that's absolutely insane.
We should have called it that.
The early birds. Insane. Get out of here. This will be the last. Scott sounds old, like a dad or something. Oh, go figure. If I am a father. That's nuts. Bunch of haters. This is insane. Do my best. Position the day around this. Getting heckled. You guys are funny. Blake is hilarious. Talking up the Blue Jays. He's laying it down. But all right, for the sake of the meme, Blake is hilarious. Talking up the Blue Jays all show. And then he's saying he's 75% confident the Dodgers win.
I mean, I also said the Dodgers were the better team all around. It's just, I'm saying the Blue Jays aren't a pushover, and it's still a 1 in 4 chance that they end up winning. Like, that's very possible that it happens. So,
yeah. Rosemary says, I'm an employed millennial. What does 6'7" mean? 6'7's hilarious, man. Yeah. When there's 2 outs, when I'm coaching, we got 2 outs. We got 2 outs. Yeah. I'm hip. Watch. Not this comment, though. Scott's giving Rick Monday. Rick Monday's a beast. He's the best. I miss him and Charlie.
Can you explain to the chat what 6'7" is?
It's from a song, man. You wouldn't know.
I really wouldn't. I know
Go
it's
on
a
TikTok,
meme.
man.
I don't have TikTok.
Devin says Scott doesn't look old. I guess 25. There we go. Thank you. Appreciate that.
Add like 10 to that and another. Multiply it by 2.
There we go. Cool. Blake, I will let you.
People want to know.
What? It's from a song.
Can you do the, like, isn't there a motion or something?
I'm not doing it because you're going to make a GIF out of it, and I'm not doing that. I'm not giving you the content.
I will not do it. I promise you I will not do it.
There will be other people in chat that are up for the task, and you've got minions on here, and I'm not going to do it.
I don't have minions on here.
Yes, you flat out do. Does Hesson Kim play a role in the World Series?
Yeah, pinch runner.
There we go. He also wants to know, will Blake do more podcasts in the future?
Yes, right now it's been difficult because when Matt's at the stadium covering games, I'm recording all the post-game stuff and posting everything and doing a lot of the back-end stuff, posting our recaps and other stories that come out. So post-games right now is kind of impossible for me, but in other times I can, yeah.
If someone Venmos me like $100, I'll do the 6'7" thing. Don't super chat it. You can send it to me on my own. It needs to go right to me. And then I'll do
$5.
Nope. And then I'll do it. You got my email. You guys can reach out and I'll be happy to do it.
What if you do it, I'll wear a crazy hat the next time I'm on. I have a great hat. It won't disappoint.
Nah, my offer's out there. We've got people in here. I love you guys. All right. This is a good one. Signs wants to know, what did you guys do last night to celebrate Buddy Kennedy's guaranteed ring? I did nothing. But I know Mr. Blake Williams on a number of occasions during the season texted me, Buddy Kennedy in the lineup, W lineup.
I think it was more like Buddy Kennedy's a great guy and you should stop hating on him kind of things. But yeah, I mean, everyone's talking about Buddy Kennedy getting his ring. No one's talking about Jose Urena getting his ring. So
justice for Jose Urena.
Yeah.
More notoriety, correct?
Yep. We got two World Series champions already.
But what did you do for Buddy Kennedy's guaranteed ring? Did you let out a huzzah?
I was driving home when the Blue Jays clinched. So we'll say I celebrated with some chicken nuggets.
Yep. W9. Norm wants to know on a scale of, well, this is a 0 for Blake. He the octave on his voice doesn't go above like a monotone, like a, oh no. On a scale of 1 to 10, is it likely you will yell at your TV at least once on Friday and Saturday? 10, Norm. Whether it's in being happy or angry, 10. It's will happen. It happens multiple times a game. Whether it's at a pitch, just on like an 0-1, like change that clips the zone, I'm screaming, like a strike call. Yeah. The bar is so low for stuff in baseball that gets me fired up. It's ridiculous. Yeah.
Scott's the guy who sits with a foam finger in his house and a flag in the other hand, like, go team.
Go team. That's insane. I did used to have a stress chair. I did. And yeah, I do not. Oh, fun fact. I hate watching playoff games with other people. I can't stand it. They stress me out because they ask ridiculous questions. I hate it. Just let me watch it by myself. Let me suffer in peace. And that's how it goes. Any weird things with you for watching postseason baseball, Blink? Nah, you're unflappable, man.
I mean, since the 2020 World Series, I've been working every time during it and after. So yeah,
I would trust you with the nuclear codes. Because you'd be like, I mean, I guess, let's think about this. You wouldn't be too up, too down. Yeah.
Starting my presidential campaign. Guaranteed chicken nuggets for everyone.
There you go. Yeah. People are fired up about chicken nuggets here.
I know.
Oh my gosh. People are asking about off-season signings. Can't do it. Somebody asked about Kyle Tucker. I don't want to talk about it yet.
I'll just say Kyle Tucker's not happening.
I don't think so either. I don't want it. I want to leave a spot open. If they do it, cool. But I want to leave a spot open for a young player here. I will entertain this. John wants to know, Blake, what are your 3 top Pokemon in your collection?
I have a very nice Gengar card. I don't know the names of any of them or like the sets they're in. I'm still really new to all this and the cards. I don't know. I feel like all my favorite ones are Gengar. I have a Psyduck I pulled the day before my birthday. I pulled the new Psyduck. That was great. It's a rare one. So, yeah.
I love it. That's fantastic for you. People want to know, will the Blake minions stand up? They're there. I promise you, Blake, they're there. You have minions in the chat. Yeah. They're there for sure. People love seeing a Blake Williams on here.
Someone asked about dipping sauce for the chicken nuggets. Ranch is the #1 sauce. It clears everything.
There you go. First Blake minion. Here we go. All right. I will allow Blake to take one more, and then I'm going to ask his final thoughts, and then I'm going to let him think about it. Here we go. Dodgers were able to neutralize the Brewers' dangerous offense. Will they really be able to do that to the Blue Jays? Great question to end on here.
I think the Brewers' offense was a lot worse than the Blue Jays' offense, so I think the Dodgers pitching can still neutralize them, but I don't think we're going to see like the shutouts, the 1-0 games. You're probably looking at maybe some 6-4 wins and stuff like that. So like good pitching games, but I don't think you're going to see them just completely shut them out like they did with the Brewers.
Gotcha. Yeah. All right. Blake Williams, thanks for joining me tonight, man. Thanks for having me on. Thanks for letting me, host the show here. As always.
Technically, I joined you.
No, not true. You asked me to do this, so we're here.
That's Matt. Matt asked you to do it, and I think you're supposed to be on with Anthony. And then I said I can join Scott if he wants. So.
And then you bullied Anthony off the show because you
I don't think that happened.
You missed the chat and your minions.
I
so, Mr. Blake Williams,
every single day.
So, Mr.
Not about
Blake
missing you.
Williams, your final thoughts tonight, and I'll send us home.
Final thoughts. While I am confident in the Dodgers winning, I would say don't underestimate the Blue Jays. As I've tried to stress this whole show, it's not a pushover team. They're still very good, and they could end up winning this series. If anyone's telling you the Blue Jays are a pushover, you probably shouldn't really be taking their opinion too close to heart. So yeah, it's gonna be a good series.
Perfect. All right, Blake, appreciate you, man. You're terrific. Appreciate your insight tonight. Stay tuned, everybody. We're gonna have more content here on Dodger Blue 1958. Blake and the rest of the gang over on the written side do fantastic work. Matt Moreno, fearless leader, getting all of the in-game coverage at the stadium there going. He will be traveling to Toronto to cover the Dodgers in the World Series. But stay tuned to the channel. We're going to have a lot more content coming up leading up to and through the World Series and through the offseason here. So stay tuned on YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, however you follow us. Appreciate you a bunch. Hit that sub button. But again, my name is Scott Geirman. Thanks for tuning in to DodgerHeads Unplugged. That's Mr. Blake Williams. Thanks for joining us, man. And as always, chat, thank you. Thank you for being active in chat tonight. Terrific questions as always. Thank you for all the super chats. Till I can't say it anymore. Go Dodgers.